Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Clayton, and I just got back from seeing The Fate of the Furious. Now, when it comes to the Fast and the Furious movies, they've gone from being generally okay car racing movies to big, ridiculous action blockbusters that you either love or hate. For me, I absolutely love the fact that the creators of these movies make their films as ridiculous and over-the-top as possible for ridiculous and over-the-top action stars like Vin Diesel and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And this film is no different. It's loud, it's noisy, the storyline sometimes makes no sense, but one thing that you can certainly say about The Fate of the Furious is that it's fun. You can argue about which Fast and the Furious film is the most fun, but to me, The Fate of the Furious continues the tradition of having an incredibly fun movie, even if it's something you've seen before. Anyways, here's the story. During their honeymoon in Cuba, Dominic Toretto, played by Vin Diesel, ends up meeting, along with his wife, Letty, played by Michelle Rodriguez, he ends up meeting a mysterious woman named Cypher, played by Charlize Theron. After meeting up with this mysterious woman, she actually convinces him to betray his team, which ends up getting his former friend Luke Hobbs in prison, and it ends up with him working for her rather than with his teammates. It's up to the Fast and Furious team, including Letty, Hobbs, Roman, Taz, and the rest, to find Toretto and to find out why he's working against them. The storyline is quite interesting, even if it's something we've seen before, and even though there are a few plot holes, you really won't mind them or even notice them, considering you'll be too busy enjoying what the series does best. Over-the-top action, tons of fun comedy, and just an overall ridiculous amount of fun. The action scenes in this movie are absolutely breathtaking. And almost all the scenes from the trailer are even better in the movie theater. Such as the scene in the trailer with the cars racing through Russia while also being chased by a submarine. That's insanely cool. The scene in New York where our heroes are chased by over 1 million remote control cars. That's also amazing. Heck, the film even starts with a racing scene in Cuba. And guess what? It reminds you of the older movies while still being its own thing. The characters in the film are fairly one-dimensional as always, but they're still fun, mainly due to the actors who play them. You know, Vin Diesel still plays the stoic hero of Dominic Toretto. Letty lets Michelle Rodriguez play the tough, no-nonsense woman she usually plays. Roman's still the series' comic relief. Taz and Ramsey are still tech experts, if you remember Ramsey from the seventh movie. Even Jason Statham's character gets a lot to do in this movie, and I just love that since I love Jason Statham. Then you have The Rock. I've said before that The Rock's one of my favorite actors in film history, and this is no exception. The Rock gets a ton of funny lines. Gets a lot of times where he gets to be a badass, and it's just fun seeing the former 8-time WWE champion beating up dudes and looking awesome while saying cool one-liners. And that's pretty much what you can say about the whole movie. If you can't stand ridiculous movies and you're expecting the smallest bit of intelligence and the smallest bit of, thought-provoking stuff, well then this is not the series for you. But if you love ridiculous action and a complete lack of subtlety, then this film's gonna be one that you'll love. One last thing to mention is the villain Cypher, played by Charlize Theron. She's a villain with interesting motivations, and in my opinion, she's probably one of the more interesting villains of the series, but it's really going to depend on whether or not you like Theron as an actress if you're going to like Cypher as a villain. Because if you can't stand Theron, you're definitely not going to like her. But she does provide a good obstacle for the heroes. She has some cool lines, and she does come across as an intimidating presence. So, The Fate of the Furious, a film with fast cars, amazing action, and a complete upholding of its ridiculous standards. The Fate of the Furious is a fun summer action blockbuster, and that's all it needed to be. I give The Fate of the Furious an 8 out of 10. See you next time.